This week's episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by GameFly.
Red Steel 2, designed exclusively for the Nintendo Wii and Wii Motion Plus.
And Netflix.
Huge, enormous 3-year anniversary episode of the Totally Rad Show this week. We've got Green Zone and Shutter Island as our movies, Final Fantasy XIII and Street Fighter IV on the iPhone, as well as a peek behind the scenes for our 3-year anniversary, a tribute to Mike, dogs and cats living together, total anarchy. Stick around.
For 3 rad years, TRS has been here. That's as long as Kinnear's Talk Soup hosting career. When they want to say cheers, Dignation's got beers, but we're no less sincere. You're the reason we're here. The show perseveres because you watch it, and we're grateful to appear on your portable gear. From Mr. Belvedere to the final frontier, if it's rad, it's right here on the Totally Rad Show.
Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our 3-year anniversary show, episode number 156. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
The Totally Rad Show has been, for the past 3 years, your weekly dose of all things rad. Can you guys believe it in your mind,
Never
grapes?
skipping a week.
Never, not once.
We have not missed 1 week.
No repeats or redos or undos. It's just us.
Yeah.
For 3 years. Can you stand it?
Yes! And
Congratulations,
also,
guys.
Yeah, congrats.
Congratulations.
Congrats, and not only congrats to us for our many episodes,
Doctor.
but
Congrats
also
to
a
Mike.
year almost, basically.
Yeah, basically exactly.
Specifically.
1 year to Mike.
It's almost basically exactly 1 year. 1 year of Mike.
Yeah.
So give it up to Mike.
Great pushing the show to a whole new level.
Yes.
It's such an honor to work with Mike, and he came in 2 years into our run, and now
Some people probably don't even know that. There's probably people that have just started watching the show
They're like,
within the past
"It's
year,
just Mike."
and they're like, "Yeah, there
Mike's
was
always
someone
been
else
there.
at one point."
Mike was you a year ago. Literally.
Think about that. Think about
Think
that.
about that on your mind, grapes.
yeah,
Say that
and
twice.
so this episode is going to be part regular episode and part celebration of 3 years. So
Yeah.
we're not going to kind of take the past 2 years. Our anniversary episode has kind of been a departure completely.
Yeah.
We didn't want to do that this year. So yeah.
It's more of a celebratorium, like a Roman celebratorium, meets some sort of Roman movie reviewiorium. And then they come together at the video game.
Eorium.
Well,
Eorium on it.
so
It's
speaking of
Yes.
video games,
Yes, that is an amazing background.
that is an amazing.
Yeah, how long
background.
we've been talking so long without mentioning
Yeah.
the epicness behind us.
Yes, so we've got this a while back.
Yes, quite a long time.
Quite a long
back.
time ago, and we've just been sort of saving it. I'm doing this to see if we can,
Yeah.
saving it for the right time.
Yes, Hayden Wise sent it in to us. We cannot thank him enough. It is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Obviously, he pegged all of us as, why are you laughing? He pegged all of us as like our
Dream.
wish fulfillment.
Yes,
wish
of course.
fulfillment.
Absolutely.
Indiana Jones, obviously, Luke, Dark Luke,
Dark
and
Luke
Bruce.
in Return of the Jedi.
The Lee.
And
The
the
Lee.
Lee.
The
as they
Leester.
say. So thank you very much for that. But also we want to say, so big news happened. The Oscars were last weekend.
That's true. We had to tape our show before the Oscar ceremony, so
Correct.
we did not know. And if you've been watching, a few weeks ago, we had our big wager that we do every year.
Correct.
And
I was due.
You were due to win, but Dan wouldn't let you win.
Let you win.
I know, but
you
hey.
kind of win. You're a winner, though. I mean,
First-
you're a winner.
first
You know what? We're
place.
both winners. It's not like we tied.
No, we
just
are both winners.
We're both winners. You're
What is
first
that?
loser, though.
What am I? Oh.
Actually, first and
You're the
best.
winner of all the losers.
You're
I
the
lost
best
by
loser.
1.
I know.
Yeah. This is what's crazy about this, folks. So we got 14 guesses right.
Correct.
You got 13. But I felt that me and you in particular had polar opposite picks.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff different,
Yeah.
but happened to get the exact same number.
Which is crazy. And then it's even weirder that Jeff, you to be off by 1 when I was like, well, I think it's either gonna go Alex's way or my way. And
Yeah.
then, so kind of a strange, what were you guys'
I did have-
takeaway from the Oscars this year?
I had a Pyrrhic victory. I may not have had an actual victory, but I had a Pyrrhic victory in that Schmirkin. You never
Always-
bet against the
always bet on
Schmirkin.
Schmirkin.
Guess the animated short.
Yes.
Logo
Based
Bill or Logo something?
exclusively
Logorama.
on the fact the guy's name was Schmirkin.
I know. We all should have gotten on the Schmirkin board.
You never been a good schmuck.
No.
What
You
do you
never
guys think of Steve Martin and Alec Baldwin?
I will say, I think overall the feeling I got is I could give two craps about the Oscars. I really got to a point where I'm like,
I
this
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed parts of it. I enjoyed it like I enjoy the Emmys and I enjoy the Golden Globes, but the winners were sort of like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, okay.
I loved the John Hughes tribute.
Yeah, but
Tears happening.
weird with all the John Hughes cast out there acting. The thing that
I
they do
like
now
that,
with
though.
the oh god, it was so uncomfortable. The thing that they do now where the actors come out and like tell
I
how
love
good
that.
the
I
other
love that
actors.
too.
Loved it.
That's so much up their own ass. It's like
I didn't think so. I felt like
what else is that night for than to be up your own ass? I mean, that's
But it's
what
not
it
up
is.
anyone's butt. That's what anytime you go to an award ceremony, they just happen to not be televised usually.
yeah,
but
maybe.
you go to celebrations.
I didn't
and-
like.
an
I didn't
honor.
like any
It's
of
to
that
honor
stuff.
people.
I didn't like
I thought
any of
that
that
was
stuff.
I felt-
I like the dance troupe.
Yeah, there go Alex D.
No, I mean
Anyway.
not the troupe, but I like that the dancing was happening
Yeah.
in the music.
Yeah.
I like that.
I
mean, the troupe was probably also
League of
good.
Extraordinary Dancers. I loved Michael Giacchino's speech about
Yeah.
that. I think most people here should
Yeah.
probably love about creativity and embracing that.
Yeah.
Upsets. I want to hear your upsets because the thing I was shocked about, which I was shocked when you picked it and you won. I mean, you got you
Sound
had it pegged
editing?
right. Not sound editing.
Sound mixing?
Cinematography and art direction. And it's funny.
Dude.
Joseph Kahn, music video director, Twitter the next day. He's like. Why is it that this movie won for best cinematography and he showed a clip of the making of Avatar and it's people with dots in their faces
Yeah.
on a
They're
soundstage?
very well lit,
It's
though.
like, yeah, I mean, and he just
Well, but it
said like
depends.
subtitle like the people voting are old. Like it's
Well, but here's the thing. So
And
is
clearly
cinematography
people-
just lighting?
No,
or is
cinematography is
cinematography
photography.
shot composition?
Well, it's a combination of those. I mean, a lot of that's a director, but the cinematographer it's when you award cinematography, it's like the photography of the film. So it's the way it looks, the lensing, the lighting,
All
and
of
a
that
little bit of
stuff was
composition.
done in
All that stuff
Avatar,
is-
but in a computer. But it still
Right,
was
but- and
in.
but the thing is that the whole thing with that is, yeah, it looks good. I think the award was given to it because of the 3D stuff and all that awesome thing. But that's not really what he did on the film.
Well, I don't know what he did at all.
Well,
I mean, I haven't seen any
I mean-
behind-the-scenes stuff where he I mean, I thought he might have. Maybe he was a computer guy that did all the.
No, he's not. He's an actual
stuff.
cinematographer. He is the DP of the movie.
Right.
So I kind of feel like, and same thing with art direction. It's like,
Well, but
there's
art
people that
direction-
were really working on the photography, like the photography in Harry Potter and that in Hurt Locker are spectacular. And I think you
Yeah.
compare the photography of the movies. I think
You're just saying
I think when
cinematography
people-
is just photography, and I don't know if I agree with that. I think now it's. I mean, that's a digital filmmaking.
But
Somebody's behind the camera making that.
My
those
takeaway
elements.
is what the cinematographer
That's why I
did
guessed
on all those.
that they were going to win, and they didn't.
What my takeaway is what the cinematographer did on the 5 of those films. What the cinematography of Avatar does not compare to the cinematography of that. I think, and the stuff that you're giving accolades to is the things that James Cameron and the effects people were working on.
Which is
in the
why they
movie.
won.
Right, but I just found it really odd that those two things went
Well,
that
and
way.
as far as art
But-
direction, I kind of feel like, it's
do you have an opinion on it?
easier. Well, it's easier to get a chair to be like, well, what kind of chair should we put there, than to go. We need a chair that looks science fiction. Let's create one in a computer. You know what I mean? And plus, there's a lot of those sets were practical in Avatar, and that the feel and look and feel of Avatar was really above and beyond, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Avatar. I'm just saying and it's also silly to compare any of these.
Right.
That should have been said up front.
Yeah.
But that's what this is about. And I think when you do that, it just seems odd that it went that way. I think. But
Jeff agrees.
My takeaway is it sucks when you guys tie because look at what happens.
I know, it's horrible. It's
Cats and
horrible.
dogs living together.
Speaking of cats and dogs, let's talk movies.
this week in movies, we're gonna start off chatting about Green Zone.
Oh. So good.
So Green Zone comes from the dudes that made the Bourne series, and by that I mean by the last 2 in the Bourne films, Paul Greengrass director and Matt Damon star. It's based on the book Life in the Imperial City,
Is
which
it Imperial
is
City or Emerald City?
Emerald City. It
Yeah,
would make
'cause
more
that's
sense. 'cause It's green.
Yeah, I mean, I was just because I was
Well,
like,
why'd you say so? Come
Hey.
on in. Wizard of Oz, Emerald City. So the book and the movie.
Darth Vader, Imperial City.
The book and film are set in America's. What year was that? 2000? Not 4. 3. In America's initial insurgency in Iraq, as we looked for weapons of mass destruction.
Correct.
Paul Greengrass, before doing the last 2 Bourne films, started out with movies like Bloody Sunday and United 93, which are 2 documentary-style, naturalistic, real-life depictions
Of historical
events. And Green Zone is much more like that than it is the Bourne films.
Interesting.
Matt Damon plays a officer, soldier on the field, or desert E-town.
It could be Desert E-town. This town's way more deserty than I thought it would be.
Leading the teams actually doing the searching
Correct.
for the weapons and realizing that they keep on coming up short and sort of investigating what's happening. Jeff.
Yes, sir.
I didn't see the movie.
Yeah, so you didn't see the film.
I was flying
But
with the Blue Angels.
you saw our second movie.
Correct.
You were doing your own little wartime
I
experience.
was doing my own little wartime experience.
So we'll start over here in this direction. Jeff, what did you think? And we'll end there because we can't go in that
Well, I'd
direction.
like to speculate.
So Jeff, what did you think of Green Zone?
Well, I think I've said before on the show, and I know you agree with me, that United 93 is one of the best movies ever made.
Right.
I think it is one of the most powerful, incredible movies ever constructed. And it's a little worrisome for me when you kind of put this in that category, because it's not that at all. It's much more, I think, an action-adventure movie. While it is talking about some very heavy, real things, and it has a very political statement to make, and talks about real history and real events, it doesn't have the same. There's definitely a action-adventure bent to it, you know. I liked the movie a lot. I found it very enjoyable. It's a shame Alex didn't see it, actually, because I know you 2 guys are always talking about video and.
It wasn't shot on video.
It wasn't shot on video.
No.
I was wondering that because it kind of looked weird to me.
Well,
but-
he just doesn't light. He lets it be natural, and it's all his movies are like that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah. And
Well-
Bourne a little bit less so, but not really.
I'm fascinated by politics, and I'm fascinated by this particular part of our history, and I found all that stuff to be really interesting. I thought the performances were great. Gosh darn, Matt Damon is awesome. I just GD'd it. Gosh darn it.
I was like, what did you
I don't
do?
know why I said that.
I know.
I don't know why I said that. He's so good and
buzzed when I heard
just
it.
so believable and real, and just throws the lines away, and it just feels authentic, and he's like really in the situation. It occurred to me that it seemed like, as I was watching this movie, I was thinking to myself, there's no reason why a video game can't tell this exact story. Because this movie is like cutscene, action sequence, cutscene, first-person shooter moment, you know, and it's almost ridiculous that every video game that comes out is so flimsy in the story department. I know that Modern Warfare really, I think, takes itself very seriously and tries to convey a story that is this meaty and weighty, but they don't succeed at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this movie, you could make this exact script into a video game.
Yeah. I had a very similar thought to carry over your peanut butter in my chocolate, your video games in my movies section.
Yes! Did it!
I had a very similar thought about the story, and also about how it's so interesting that we live in a time where I'm watching this movie and I'm reminded of the time I spent in the same
Doing the same kind of
places,
things, yeah.
doing the same kind of
Yeah.
things, playing Modern Warfare and all that.
It's wild.
I didn't like the movie. At
all?
Not really. I thought the opening sequence starts on a close-up of a photograph and ends on a wide shot of that setting and of war happening, and it was spectacular. And right away I was like, wow, we are getting perspective on we heard on news broadcasts and you hear people talking about, but like I ain't
shock and
seeing
awe
it.
campaign, yeah.
And following some of the opening scenes with Matt Damon and his soldiers on the ground while they're doing the thing that we just heard. Oh yeah, we're looking for weapons. But no, some dude's got to go do that, and they're dying, and like it's crazy.
And not finding anything.
Yeah. And that was spectacular, those ideas and how it came across in a couple scenes. And I agree with you, and disagree with you. I preface it by saying it's more like Bloody Sunday 1993 because it is about real world events.
Sure.
I thought it was like them more so than Born because I didn't really see it as an action film. It was much more a political thriller. Not that those movies are, but it was more about the conspiracy, less about action sequences. There were a couple action sequences.
I think there's more than a couple, and the whole last bit of the movie is an extended action sequence.
Yeah, sort of, but it's more about tension and suspense than...
But you inevitably didn't like it.
Inevitably, I didn't like it because what Paul Greengrass does so well in every other movie I listed ahead of time is subtlety. And if you did not like the moments in Avatar, that had great cinematography, by the way, where they said the line shock and awe and fight terror with terror, then you are going to have a real problem with this movie because most of the movie has the wink, wink, nudge, nudge jokes of, see how back then they were saying this and how we know now. I felt like all that stuff was underlined.
It was jokes, though. It didn't play as
No, they weren't jokes. But I'm saying, like, it's like that, like, see how, like, here it is.
We're
like,
saying
it's
there's
underlined.
weapons of mass
Yeah.
destruction here.
and you know that.
And we know that they didn't out my eyeball.
Yeah, so that really took me out of the film, and it basically didn't tell me anything profound or interesting. I also thought Brendan Gleeson, who's in the movie as well, doing an American accent, was terrible.
Really?
Yeah, did you know?
Didn't bother me. He's not in the movie a lot, and it didn't bother me.
Interesting. Well, now I'm conflicted because I did want to see it before, and now I don't know if I do.
It's
but
definitely,
I think I do, but I don't.
It's
enjoyable
I mean, I would
movie.
say it's being sold as a Bourne film, and I think people going in for that.
Are gonna be disappointed.
I don't fault them for saying it that way. It's definitely a disappointment on that. Not that I wanted a Bourne movie, I didn't, but.
Interesting.
But I would recommend it for people that like movies like Body of Lies, or it's much more of that ilk.
I think Body of Lies is far superior to this movie.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have not talked about a movie that has been out for several weeks, but it is an important film to talk about because we are fans of films and film history and filmmakers, and Martin Scorsese makes a movie. We gotta.
And also, the fans have been yelling at us a lot.
Yeah, that's true. That too.
That true.
That too is true.
Yeah, that true.
The movie, of course, is Shutter Island, and Shutter Island is from director Martin Scorsese, stars Leonardo DiCaprio as a cop, a detective, who is going to investigate
He's a federal marshal,
a federal marshal, going to investigate with partner Mark Ruffalo, going to investigate an escaped convict. I don't know what to say, but yeah.
I want to be convict in a prison insane asylum.
Insane asylum, yeah, exactly.
On
On an
an
island where you can't leave, like it's like crazy. How could someone possibly escape?
It's like Alcatraz-y kind of island, yeah.
Period film in the 1950s.
In the
Yeah.
Alex.
Yes, hey, I'm on this show.
Oh, hey, there you are.
How are you?
I want to hear your
I
thoughts on
don't
some
like
movies.
Paul Greengrass. No, I'm just kidding.
What'd you think of Shutter Island?
Shutter Island is a hard movie to review.
We'll do little spoilers at the end of this little thing.
Oh, we can. I mean, that's not why it's hard to review.
Okay.
Going into this movie, I thought this movie was very well acted. I thought this movie was interesting enough. I thought this movie was very pretty to look at. And inevitably, I had a good time watching it. That said...
Why does it sound so weird coming out of your mouth?
Because, that said, within the first trailer I watched, I kind of knew exactly what was going to happen. So it's a little bit disappointing that you see this movie that you inevitably know what is going to happen at the end. And I'm kind of shocked that they have this whole campaign now out that's like the most shocking twist ending in film history.
You're shocked by that?
I'm shocked that they're doing that because it's like, really? That's what you're going to put your hat on?
Wow.
So anyway, so for me, the movie was a fun romp through this evolution of I just saw the timer start and then go to 10 seconds. And I was like, oh, okay.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies when you're having fun. So I think overall, I actually really enjoyed this movie. I was a little upset that they started they started.
Final thoughts. Final thoughts.
I was really upset that Martin Scorsese started to make it feel odd and off at almost the second scene. I
right at the
really
beginning.
wanted it to be something where you didn't feel off, that something off was happening until a little bit later into the scene, so that you could kind of get drawn into this reality before you started to feel like something's weird here. This is weird. It felt like something's weird out of the gate, so it never got me hooked into the fact that, maybe, reality is different than what's happening.
I hear you. What I did mention
like-
up front is that it is based on a Dennis Lehane novel.
Yep.
And if
Same
you've
guy
been
who
watching
wrote
our
Mystic
show-
River.
Mystic River and Gone Baby Gone, and I remember
Yep.
when we reviewed Gone Baby Gone, you said how much of Gone Baby Gone, you said how much of a fan you were of his work, and you remember reading, I think it was even before the movie was announced, because
Yeah.
you read Shutter
Yeah.
Island
Yeah,
years
let me
ago.
tell you what happened, actually. I had just seen Mystic River.
Yeah.
So whatever year that was, I don't remember.
2001
We didn't review it, I don't
Yeah.
think.
No, we did not. Yeah, I was
we
preceded the show by a while.
We could have, well, we probably did in one of our archived
Right,
episodes.
yes.
Yeah, hello.
Doing it since 80.
I
doing
remember
everything.
vividly the moment that I was living with Steve, who used to be our Mike, and I finished the book and I walked down to the living room and I said to Steve, when they make this into a movie, it's going to be amazing.
And
What I didn't know is that they were going to get Martin Scorsese to make the movie.
right.
And it's
okay.
far surpassed what I thought it was going to be. I was blown away by this movie.
Wow.
Interesting.
I love it. And I found it haunting and harrowing and absolutely got under my skin from the word go. Having read the book, I didn't go into it looking for a narrative that was going to surprise me. So maybe
Right.
that
Yeah.
I gave it that benefit of the doubt initially.
Yeah.
But I found the filmmaking, the performances, even from the smallest little actors. There's a sequence where
Little itty bitty guy
tiny
comes in.
people. Vern Troyer is amazing in this movie. No, there's a sequence where they're interviewing these inmates, and there's a few of them in a row, and they're all just the actors only in that one scene, but all of them are cast so well, and they are so disturbing. And there's so much of the way this movie is communicated that is disturbing, and I was completely emotionally devastated by the ending. I absolutely felt like this was an experience of a movie that wrung me through the ringer.
Compared to the book, things same, similar, different?
No, you know what? It's interesting that you asked that because the book felt like a mystery, and the movie felt like a horror movie, a thriller where I was horrified and taken through this emotional experience that this guy is having, where he doesn't know what's what and what's going on. That I did not experience in the book.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Jeff said that.
Yeah, I'm more in Alex's camp. I thought
we have
the
marshmallows.
movie was technically spectacular, from directing to cinematography, to the acting, all that stuff, great. But the experience that I had watching it was, I, like Alex, sort of, felt like I knew what the ending was going to be, and I was sort of waiting for it to be better on top of that. And I really spent most of the movie. It was an interesting thriller, and it was interesting suspense moments, and that the ride was enjoyable. But the whole time I'm thinking, well, what am I getting out of this? What is it saying? What do I take away from just this, other than just this tense experience? And 20 minutes to the end, when a twist happens, I'm going, okay. Cool. I sort of felt that was going there, but whatever. It's all good. But what do I get out of this? And it wasn't until the last sentence of the movie, literally the last word spoken in the movie, that I go, okay, this is good, and this is about something, and there is something for me to take away from it. But if it didn't have that last sentence, I would have been very unfulfilled by the movie.
Yeah, interesting.
You guys didn't find that the whole last flashback scene to be really
It started to get a little
Cool.
bit better. It was,
Yeah.
but
I found that so powerful
Yeah.
and
Well, but
just
yeah.
devastating.
yeah. So That's really it. I mean, I just wanted to bring up briefly, just today when we were recording the show, Corey Haim had passed away.
Yeah.
I'm a huge
Crazy.
fan, as I have used on
Was he
Twitter.
39 or 38 or
He's
something?
38. Victim of child acting stuff, you know.
Wow.
Victim of child
I mean,
acting.
drug abuse
And
that comes
reality
from
TV.
all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
License to Drive is one of your favorite movies.
I mean, you know.
You read the novelization.
That's
of
right. So
License
you
to
remember?
Drive.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Directed by Greg Beeman, who's directed several Heroes episodes.
Nice.
So I was a huge fan of Corey Haim. Double O Kid, Blown Away,
Well,
and of
Lost
course the
Boys.
mainstream ones, Lost Boys and License to Drive, but would you guys have any thoughts on him? I mean, I guess I want to say I try to say it in 140 characters, but there's something very unique to the '80s in Corey Haim's performances that followed suit with Matthew Broderick and Ferris Bueller, Michael J. Fox and like Teen Wolf and Back to the Future, and Patrick Dempsey and like Loverboy.
Can't Buy Me Love.
The way those guys would it's very smart alecky.
Yeah.
And like we don't have comedic movies that feature characters like that quite as much anymore. And also their physicality. They always were like running and sliding and tripping over this, and like there were always these like
Sliding, I
chase
love it.
scenes in your comedies that those guys. I always wanted to be that cool.
Yeah,
And-
like sliding through a supermarket to
Yeah,
get away from the principal.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like we don't have that these days, right? Am I missing something? And there's
funny.
something very 80s about that. But
Yeah.
I loved that. Would you guys? Yeah.
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 Haim.
It's a different world.
It is a different world.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you come in. My name's Mike Gaines. I'm the camera guy and editor here on the Totally Rad Show, and we're celebrating our 3-year anniversary. I'm celebrating my 1-year anniversary, and it seems like only yesterday that I got started on this show.
Which leads me to say, Mike is the new Steve. We found the new
let's
Steve.
welcome Mike.
He's shadowing Steve for the next couple episodes, kind of get the vibe of what he's doing.
Anyway, I thought it'd be kind of cool to pull back the curtain a little bit and give you a behind-the-scenes look as to what it takes to make an episode of the Totally Rad Show. Friday, the big day, it's time to shoot the show. Everything's done in front of a green screen, so I can work my magic later on in the computer. After checking out this week's background, we shoot the different segments.
Well, let's get to it.
Shall we?
Finally, we discuss a future show's intro and shoot some pics. Friday night, I go home and I transfer all the footage to my computer, so I'm ready to go on Saturday. Welcome to Master Control. Well, that's what I like to call it. It's actually my bedroom. But that right over there is my edit superstation, and that's where all the magic happens on Saturdays and Sundays. I sit in that little chair and I create the show. Using Apple's Motion software, I take all the different segments and give them the magical green screen treatment and add all of the graphics. Even though we shoot with one camera, I'm able to create 6 different camera angles in Apple's Motion. Each angle then gets rendered out that night, and it's ready for editing on Sunday. Sunday is assembly day. Using the power of Final Cut Pro, the show gets put together piece by piece. Once the assembly's complete, basically the show's done. I just have to export it, and I usually watch it once through at double speed to make sure there aren't any major issues, and everybody's kind of talking like a chipmunk, like I'm just looking for major issues, because once I start the upload to revision 3, that's a 12-hour process. And if there are any issues and I have to start the 12-hour process over again, that delays the episode on Tuesday, and that is no good. Revision 3 then takes the video and they encode it into all the different formats and get the website ready for you guys to watch it on Tuesday. So that's it, the making of an episode of The Totally Rad Show. Thank you guys so much for your support for the past 3 years, especially the last year. I've had a blast working on the show, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Reload.
So we're shooting the episode a little early this week. Some of the guys are traveling. I know you're going to South by Southwest.
Yeah,
doing a
going
big
to
live
Austin.
dignation there. So we're talking about Final Fantasy XIII, which of course is a huge, epic Japanese role-playing game. But unfortunately, we haven't gotten as much time on that game as we would like. That's not going to stop us from talking about it a little bit, because it is the big game that's coming out this week. It is one of those games that people wait years and years for.
Correct.
The Final Fantasy series, if you don't know, is a long-running, very popular Japanese role-playing series. Now, the 13 in the title doesn't mean it's the continuation of the story for the 13th time.
You saw my tweet.
Each Final Fantasy is its own universe and its own new characters and new story. But they're all these grand, epic adventures, and the thing about them is that each one has a completely different, basically turn I am the first person to be skeptical about putting a joystick on my thumb virtually on the iPhone
I'm
screen.
not a fan of those.
Me neither.
Yeah.
But for some reason, this really worked. I felt like I could play and rock and do all the stuff. I mean, when I wanted to pull a Dragon Punch, I pulled a Dragon Punch. It wasn't. It's and graphically unbelievable that they can pull this off on the iPhone. No?
Yeah, it definitely makes you realize if the iPhone had some sort of input device connected to it,
Or
it would
was
be
it
amazing.
slightly larger?
Maybe slightly
not
larger.
too
I don't
large?
know, but not too large. Like 10 inches diagonal, maybe.
It's like it's
9.7?
crazy that like it sounds like $10 is an expensive price, but this is the same game that you pay
Yeah.
$60 for.
It really
That's
is.
crazy. That is.
We played
that
it.
is
I just
crazy.
played it briefly, and as you said, I pulled off all the special moves that I needed to pull
Yeah.
off in the game. It really is that game. I mean,
And it's stunning looking.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
looks
For the
exactly
iPhone, it's
the right
ridiculous. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's worth it. I say
Kudos,
it's worth it.
Capcom. I mean, I'm very impressed.
It's a kudo cap. Well, it's that time again. Time to thank our sponsors like GameFly.com. If you'd like to play a game, maybe it's a big-ass game, as they say, like one of the Final Fantasies. And you're like, you know what? I'd like to play this game, and then when I'm done, I want to play another game, and I don't want to pay for either of them. Well, you can do that by subscribing to GameFly with...
You don't usually do this one, do you?
I don't usually just one. With subscription fees as low as $15.95. Think about that. How much money could you spend a month buying video games?
Me? I often spend lots.
Hundreds of dollars.
More than I
especially
have.
now that the new consoles are like $60 games. For $15.95 a month, you can be renting games all you want. Your game comes in the mail, you throw it in, you play it, you finish it, you're like, what up? Send it back. Next game on your list comes in the mail.
Or
also,
hold on to
if
it.
you have other, or hold on to it. Or if you like it, you can pay a smaller fee, like a used car fee, and then they'll even send you the cases and the manuals and
but
stuff
not
in the
nearly
mail.
as much as a used car.
No, not nearly as much, unless it's a Toyota. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, so...
Too soon.
It is too soon. Actually, literally is too soon. So, head over to gamefly.com/TTRS for your 2-week no-risk free trial.
Good job, Alex.
Nicely done. Very succinct.
Thank you.
I
just
get
tried
to
to
tell
be
you
Dan.
about, when you're talking about big games, there's a big game coming out for the Wii, and it's coming out March 23rd. Is it the 23rd? It is the 23rd. I'm excited to tell you. It's on my shoe, so I got to look at that. March 23rd, and it's Red Steel 2. The first Red Steel was one of the very first Wii games. Now, Red Steel 2 is one of the first Wii games to support Wii Motion Plus,
Oh,
and they're
cool.
doing so in a really cool way. You can switch back. Red Steel is talking about swords. Steel.
Bloody to steel.
But not only the steel and swords, steel and guns. It's got gunplay and swordplay. You can switch back and forth effortlessly, they tell me.
I like it.
Also, it's got this really cool design. You would like this, Dan. It's sort of like Kurosawa meets Sergio Leone,
Wow.
Right?
Those are guys that are kind of...
Yeah, two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, the same coin.
That coin
Red
is
Steel
made of
2.
red steel. Red Steel 2, it sounds really awesome. I'm really excited to get my hands on it. The Wii Motion Plus-ness of it alone.
Yeah.
Finally, there's going to be a sword-fighting, gun-toting, badass game
With
with
Wii Motion
like
Plus,
Wii
yeah.
Motion Plus control. It sounds awesome. It's
cool.
March 23rd.
Speaking of
shoe says.
Kurosawa and Leone, if those are on your list of shame, I urge you to put that list of shame up
shame.
on your Netflix
That's
queue.
not what I wanted to say.
Head over to netflix.com and participate in some online renting.
Let's all do that.
I'm sure you all already know what it is, but if you don't, you make a queue, you get your movie basically in one day. And they also have watching instantly on your Xbox 360, on your computer, on your PS3. Wii we're coming out with now on the Wii. Right?
I don't know.
Your voice was high enough.
I
to
highly recommend any Kurosawa or Leone, or we talked about Green Zone earlier, United 93 and Bloody Sunday, because I'm sure you saw the Bourne movies. United 93 and Bloody Sunday, spectacular films. Add them to your queue. Head on over to netflix.com/TRS to get a 2-week free trial.
Awesome. So this is our 3-year anniversary show.
Yes. It kind of snuck up on us.
It snuck up on us real good, as it were.
quick.
Real quick.
Real quick.
First
Like a ninja.
first 2 years, we're like
the ending
Oh man,
of
guys, we
Shutter
only have a
Island.
few more weeks.
Snuck right up.
We only have a few more weeks. You know,
Yeah.
until the anniversary. This year, it's like, wait, what?
I know. I was like, how many? What? Okay, we're going. What?
Yeah.
So what we decided to do was usually we do a big blowout where we, have people vote
Let's
on
not
their
bring that
favorite.
up. Let's not bring up what we usually do.
Okay, usually we don't do anything. We have
You're in for a treat.
So you're in for a treat. We're gonna do something.
Yep.
So what we thought we would do is we would decide we would tell each other what our favorites, backgrounds over the year, and also intros.
Yeah, we're so
for the year.
fortunate.
I want to tell you decided for a 3-year anniversary
To tell
we're
ourselves.
going to talk to each other about stuff. Do you guys want to listen?
It's a departure from what we normally do.
It is. It's totally different.
No,
What
we
is
are
your
so,
favorite part of our show?
We are so
Dan,
we are so fortunate
to have
we
Dan here
have
with us today.
every week user submitted videos like this amazing one.
This is a background, not a video.
Did I say video?
Yes, but you meant background.
I started
From your,
spilling the beans.
Yeah.
your TRL hosting days.
Yeah.
User submitted backgrounds like this epic
Correct.
background we have. Every single week we are inundated with amazing ones, and there's so many. It's fun to revisit all the ones over the year that we've loved.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite one you think over the year?
It's hard to choose one because there's so many good ones.
What was the best of your best?
Well, it's hard to pick against.
But if you did.
It's hard. I need to say this. It's hard to pick against Dennis Calero because, the first year he did one for us for Comic-Con.
He should not
it's
be
like,
allowed to be picked.
It's not fair.
He's too good.
But that one, that black and white one that we had, that actually won, I think, the last
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
Voted on by the peeps.
2 years or whatever.
Whenever
last
that
year,
was. It was so epic. It was us in such an awesome comic book pose. And then he outdid himself by going color this year. It's so
Yeah.
badass.
Let me just interject because that also was my third runner-up.
It's so good.
And I was telling these guys that is the best rendition
Yeah.
of me.
Yeah.
Which is really all you care about.
No, but that because because I even chatted about him at Comic-Con. I have something about me. There's something I'm very undistinct.
Yeah, I think he said you're too generic.
With simplicity, he really nailed it. So I also really love that background.
So what did you actually pick?
I'm gonna go ahead and pick this one, which we actually was in our
interesting.
it was
Okay.
actually in the first episode of our show revamp, and it's from
Nice.
Gustav, who did our show backgrounds, movies, video games.
Yeah, I like how
TV,
you just said
comics.
this one and it switched.
Yeah,
Got
that's
it.
because Mike's got my back.
Because I was like, the one we're doing today, you did that. You did
No,
show
no,
that.
no, no.
Now I know
That's-
what you're doing,
right.
and it's amazing. The magic of
He did our show back before we changed to Nikki Smith, who did our show backgrounds.
Yeah.
He did the previous ones, which I still love, and they're amazing. And this one, it's so cool. It's like, it's got the epic version of our logo, and it's all painted, and it looks really, really cool.
Super
So
cool.
I really dig it.
Danny, what do you think your favorite of the year has been?
Tough choice.
A lot of good choices.
Lot of good choices.
Lot of good choices.
Lot of good choices.
Like this one,
Yeah.
and also that one,
Mike's
and
happy.
these two.
Really,
Amazing. It's awesome.
really, it came down to me between two, and this one by Hector Barrientos. Spectacular.
Barrientos.
No, this is my runner-up.
Oh, it's just like all of the.
Incredible rendition.
You're just impressed by renditions of yourself.
No, but this is
an incredible rendition of him.
It's not just photo. I don't know
I
what
know. That's
sort
still
of wizardry he did.
That's still my my Twitter icon.
Your Twitter icon, because it's so crazy.
it's
Like,
good.
really, the effort, amazing. And a unique visual style as well.
Yeah.
It's not just like on another poster of a thing. Like, it's got his personal stamp on it. You know who else puts a personal stamp on things?
Who?
The
Your
person
teacher
who
from
made
sixth grade?
the person who made my favorite background this year and also last year.
Whoa.
No, she made my favorite background
Yeah.
last
Oh, we
year.
get what you meant.
Oh, that one.
Nikki Smith, the creator of our current
Yeah,
in movies
correct.
video segment backgrounds, did this awesome green fields. She speaks to me. Something I don't know. Her peculiar aesthetic is awesome. I think. I don't know what it
she's
is.
awesome.
I love
she's
it.
sort of she's our
reality
girl. She's our
tweaked.
girl. But
our
I'm
girl.
laughing at something completely different because you saw what I saw, which is
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the video's playing in the back. Anyway, I will go. I'm gonna go humbly with this background.
Right, because of you, yourself.
This is the most fun me in a movie poster thing of the year. I love these
You
things.
guys just like looking at yourself.
What is this? Doug Zuba.
You guys didn't have
I
to bury
appreciated
Mendoza's
beautiful
rendition.
art.
I appreciate beautiful art.
Wait, my pick at green grass fields.
This is true.
It's true.
It's true. Dan wasn't even in that. I mean, it was his face and facial hair made of green fields. So, dude, Doug Zuba. This is my favorite, hands down.
It is cool.
It was super fun.
A good movie too.
It was a good movie. And now one of the other things is, as you guys saw, we changed our intros to the show this year a couple of times.
Twice even.
A couple of times.
But really,
So of the new intros,
Yeah.
the new which is really Mike's magic and your lyrics and sometimes yours
Occasionally
and
mine.
otherwise sometimes yours out
mostly
there.
Jeff.
Never yet
Even when they're
mine.
mine. They're
Jeff's.
Jeff's.
What was your favorite? I'm gonna go to Dan. What was your favorite of the intros?
I'm gonna go with the one where Jeff gets a dart in his neck.
Amazing. Amazing.
Or he gets smashed by a rock.
You didn't like the dog poop one?
No.
Amazing.
My favorite one, another hard decision. I almost went with Ferris. Which one did I go with? I almost went with Ferris Bueller.
No, wait. I did go with
Because
Ferris.
one, I think it was the first one that I did write, some of, that made it on the show.
Okay.
And I thought it was really great adventure, and Mike had some great stills on that. But the one that I want to go with is
Really?
Shawshank Redemption.
I almost went with
Choking
Shawshank.
Tone Loc, that whole sequence,
Yeah.
that was a great story.
Yeah, I almost
And
went
great
with,
lyrics by Jeff.
Yeah, I almost
you.
went with Shawshank Redemption as well because it's a strong one. And we're actually going to play all of the sort of our favorites at the end of the show in the credits. So if you want to
stick
see them,
tuned.
if you haven't seen them, you can stick tuned.
Yeah.
Jeffy?
It's hard to choose. It's like choosing a child.
Yeah, but
no, I
in
mean, they're
the
all.
back of your mind, you know.
I really, I liked the two avatars, like pitting the two avatars against
Yeah.
each other. It's kind of fun, and I really liked the Indiana Jones.
That was a good one. I
was
really like
fun.
that one. Yeah.
I don't think I like that one.
No?
What did you come
Or maybe
down
I'm
on?
thinking of our old
You are.
intro.
What did you-
You know what? I'm gonna say.
Still thinking about it. You're still coming up with it right now.
I don't know. You know, I think Neverending Story was the
First
first.
one.
Was when because here's the true story about this is that I
story.
wanted to write a new one like much sooner than we had a new one, and then we
Right.
did the new one for a while, and then Dan was the one who kept pushing like let's do a new one every single week, and I didn't think I could do it.
It was tough. we drove down to San Diego.
And I was like, this
and
is the-
we were
this is
like,
the top.
and I
We're
was
gonna
like,
have
we
some
can't-
Arby's, and we are gonna figure
can't.
this out.
Yeah, Dan was like, it's a new song
you went-
every week. And I'm like,
you
no.
And,
then
you go,
it hit.
okay, so if we were to do this, we would have to do this and record it, and then, okay.
I kept
we
putting
can
these
maybe do this.
barriers up, and Dan was like, yeah, that's cool.
And then Dan goes, Jeff, just try to write a couple of them, just to see if you can. Just go for it. And the Neverending Story one just sort of happened. It was like, this is
like
kinda
magic.
good. And then I showed it to you, and Dan's like, yes, that's the idea. We're doing it. And I'm like, I didn't know that was what that meant.
I backed into this.
So Neverending Story is my pick.
I like that. It's a
Amazing.
good pick.
So my pick comes from my childhood when I was shooting these when I was 5. No,
Ghostbusters?
I'm gonna go with Ghostbusters. There's something epic about how Mike was able to capture. We do. Look,
You like being slimed.
We do a lot of this stuff like this. Okay, I go like this, and Mike, you put like thing, and then make me like this, and then there's gonna be a guy, but just find a guy, and then we leave. That's usually how they go. And for some reason, we did Ghostbusters, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, put like a proton pack on this, and we're shooting the marshmallow guy. The fact that even remotely looks like it is what we're doing is all a testament to Mike. I mean,
And
honestly.
that is a great transition to the next thing.
Maybe
is.
they already saw it.
Well, he doesn't.
No, they didn't.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Because, not only is this our 3-year anniversary, as we said at the top of the
Yes.
show, it's our 1-year anniversary with Mike, who is above and beyond every single week.
Correct.
The man, and we could not be doing the show without him. He's amazing. And fortunately, some of our best fans in the forums got together and made a little video, and we're so pleased. Thank you. Lava Hot spearheaded the initiative in the forums, as he often does. He's awesome, and this is it.
Little, you know,
It's a little too
like
inside
this.
baseball for you.
Hand. It was like flaming hand.
What's the word when you're...
Arrow.
No.
Arrow pans when they come together.
No.
Okay.
No.
You can actually see my red.
Not digitally.
It's not. I mean, I'm sure it'll be digitally bumped. So, lost my place. Thank you for that.
I wasn't.
Our other product worked.
Snicked.
So lame.
And not only that, but I thought the acting was incredible.
We can bring out 40 of your friends that are hanging out in
The wings.
And Mike is
Mike Gaines.
and Twitter.
And Mike, what was your name again? Mike Gaines.
It's being shot into space.
Oh!
Yeah. So
It won that competition.
It won that. It was so amazing.
My issues that I have with Lost is that Lost went through a period, and please ignore my dog, but she's trying to find some people on the island. The problem that I have with my favorite thing is artist renditions of myself.
Of hardcore gamer cred, and this game is for some reason, but I think Crackdown's a better I remember my second point. You bucket on the blood, you know, in ways that most find it.
With Alex Albrecht, Dan Trachtenberg, and Jeff Canada.
My friend, light my path.
Well, I want to say because
There's a lot about it that makes me go, oh.
But, you know, clown zombies now that squeak when they walk. There's so many little touches. The sound design, it's
Not only the man, the myth, the legend won Mike Gaines.
Yes.
Now
You haven't even seen. They've only seen the
seen.
taste of what's. That's why he's the man, the myth, and the legend.
Yes.
I forgot my enormous clock necklace.
Anywho.
Physical. I can reach out and touch it. Dirt, water, fire.
Yeah.
Spectacular. I can hear
Right.
this pow wow.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's also exact.
Dude, it was attached to me.
No, it's not.
It
Put
was.
in your pocket fully.
It was attached.
Difficulties. Your pants are so
Okay. What are my pants?
amazing.
Oh God. Don't pay any attention to what's going on.
Okay. So I'm a ninja. Hey, maybe I didn't appreciate how good Mike was at what he does, but I don't think that's true. I think I appreciate it.
Pretty much the only reason he put it up there is like,
My
screw you,
God.
Alex.
Wow. First off,
Yeah,
one,
great work,
job.
guys. And thanks for all the help.
Guys.
As
Two,
always.
just goes to show you how lucky we were to find Mike. Honestly,
sure.
we were up a giant digital creek without a paddle.
Yes.
And the fact that we got to...
filled with delicious Tron water.
It was so much delicious Tron water and other things. It was horrible.
Yeah, and you know, of course, this is also a good time of year to say thank you to every single one of you that watches the show.
Most definitely.
We could not be doing it without you, and we really appreciate the support, all the emails, sending in backgrounds, all the
Yeah.
stuff that makes this show a two-way street is so rewarding.
And I think it's a great testament to our show talking about this. If you enjoy our show, you enjoy what we do, we really are just you guys who decided to put a camera in front of us and do it all.
Yeah.
And you guys are behind us, literally and figuratively, every week. And Mike was a viewer like you
Yeah.
who decided to help us out. So
Yeah.
it's all happening from us in each other and all that. So thank you and props to you, and
Yes,
hope
thank you very much for
stay
watching.
tuned and
Most
And we,
go ahead and do
we try
things.
every week to make it worth your while. So we appreciate you sticking around.
Most because we fail a lot.
Oh, more often than not, really. In fact, I think we did this week.
Well, that is it for this week's episode of the Totally Rad Show, and for the last 1 year of episodes. I'm
Last
Alex
3
Albrecht.
year of
Well, but
episodes.
this is the end of this year.
Let's
but
bring on year 4.
But if you
shall
really
we?
like our show, by the way, you should get some T-shirts.
It's true. Jinx.com/TRS.
Get cool Nerds New Cool
Yeah.
logo. Go to our forums. Email us. Where do they
Yeah.
email us?
Fans at TotallyRadshow.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check it out. Just party.
Try to drop some knowledge
Yeah,
real
I
quick.
like it. We'll see you next
Real
week.
quick.
Huge, enormous 3-year anniversary episode of Totally Rad Show this week. We've got discussions of Green Zone from Paul Greengrass. This is stupid.
This is stupid.
All right.
This week in movies, we're gonna start off chatting about Green Zone.
What's this movie all about?
What's up?
Oh, hello. I didn't see you come in. Oh, hello. I didn't see you come in. Oh, hi. I didn't see you come in.
Do you have an edit master control in your bedroom? That's right. I didn't think so.
That was good. That was a good one.
Three rad friends on a lazy weekend attempt to comprehend a story without end. To the attic they ascend, start to read and pretend that they meet and befriend a magic luck dragon. Between the bookends, it missed out on the trends and needs them to recommend games and films to attend. We don't mean to offend. You'll just have to suspend your disbelief and contend with the Totally Rad Show. 3 rad blokes were sent to Lompoc, framed for the choking of rap star Tone Loc. Their parole was revoked. It seemed their will broke till they managed to coax a trade spoon for smokes. Then stroke after stroke, they dug till they poked through the ground neath the oak. In the rain, they were soaked. We swear it's no hoax. They escaped to tell jokes, review games, and help folks on the Totally Rad Show. 3 rad hosts feeling quite morose. See an ad in the post for a job busted ghosts. Now when Zool is invoked, that marshmallow man's toast, cause their proton packs roast his ass. Say adios, but don't get too close. Getting slimed would be gross, so they stay back and post rad reviews they've composed. We don't mean to boast, we ain't afraid of no ghost, cause they'll all be engrossed in the Totally Rad Show.